Power Rangers Dino charge you money! Except it's for an actually good product line this time, and not for a half sought out, technically half done review format. It's for the Dino Charge Megazord, which is here, as you can see. The first thing I will say in this review is I actually brought a set of wipes for me to use, so that I won't be nicking off halfway through this video, so you don't need to worry about any of that little lot. Anywho, Dino Charge Megazord. I'm considering this to be the last good Megazord that Bandai of America made, because based on how they did, based on their efforts during the Support era, it wasn't too good. Mainly, the Samurai Zord line and the Ninja Steel Zord line really stick out for me, along with the Super Megaforce Zord line, meaning that they only got 2 Zord lines correct, being the Megaforce Zord line and the Dino Charge Zord line. So they did fall off a bit, but those 2 Zord lines, they lasted for as long as they could. These Zord lines, they did pretty well. The Megaforce and the Dino Charge ones, mainly because the features that they could cut out didn't really affect the things at all. They weren't like required, like the origami shapes from Shin Kenja, or the door opening gimmick of Gokaiger. They just did what they did. The things that they needed to keep didn't affect. The things that they needed to get rid of didn't affect the toys overall. And that thing in the Dino Charge toy line is the use of Dino Chargers. He is the one that came with this Megazord set at release. The clear, translucent T-Rex Charger. Now, again, these were used in everything, just like the Japanese toy line. They were used in Morphers, Zords, other Rollblade gear, I think, as well, along with these weird Dino Charger Power Pack dinosaurs, where it was like a display item for one charger. So they kept a lot of the functionality for these things, and I mean, I do like that. I mean, come on. The thing that they removed the sound gimmicks from these Megazords, but as you'll see with the next video, I think they improved on that a lot. They took out the sounds, but I added in additional features to make up for that. So I think while it's not 100% there, I think they did a good job. Also, just going to point out, what is the point of this having a charger reader in it when the Morpher does that anyways? That's just the question that I've got. Anyway, like I said, this comes with the translucent T-Rex charger. Number 1, red T-Rex. It's got 4 sides on it. And there we go. So, see out the 4, or parts of them glow in the dark at least. This one glows in the dark in its entirety. These half ones, only half of them glows in the dark. The translucent colouring means nothing. These translucent ones, according to the app at least, because the app would be very generous, because the fossil chargers would be, and the fossil animation and egg chargers would be considered as different chargers, unrecognised by the Morpher as being different. They'd just be grouped under one category for the Morpher. These translucent ones, however, are classified in the app as the same as the regular chargers, so they're not classified as being different even in the app. So I mean, yeah, that's fair. They don't really have any differences in the slides or the... Okay, the only thing that's different is the colouring, but I suppose they can't really show that in the app. That's meaning that the QR code on the side here is the same QR code as the regular T-Rex charger. And as with all the T-Rex chargers, the pin combo is the same, which you can't really see. Can we make the light shine on it a bit better? No, we can't. It shows up better on the regular T-Rex charger. Can we find one in here in time? No, we can't. No, hang on. I think I might have one. No, I haven't. But you know the gist. There's a pin up here. and that's what triggers the sound. This is the same on the back, Tyrannosaurus Rex in red text. Now the gimmick being with this Megazord is that the charger can activate certain features in all 3 Zords, which is a gimmick that they kept from the Japanese version, which is cool. We're just going to do the individual gimmicks here before going on to each Zord, because I'm just going to do them all in one go. Save time that way. For the T-Rex Zord, now they did cut out the charger reading feature in this Zord, because the original Gabutara figure had a pin system at the back, so it could read the charger, but they kept that one out. This Zord, literally, all it does is this. Makes his feathers rise. Which, yeah, it was. This is exactly how it was on the Japanese version. So they kept that in. It is button activated. There's a little black button inside, which, if I show you here, there's just a little black button. That's all the charger presses down on and makes it work. So nothing too fancy there. For the 2 smaller Zords, we'll get to this in a minute. It's quite important when it comes to Megazord functionality. The Stegozord, slide up the mouth, put the charger in, and the little blade comes out. There's a thing about this way, it doesn't come out all the way, you need to bend it out to be like more show accurate. The blade doesn't have any paint on it, which is a huge shame. It all used to be a lot more colourful. It had the colours of the 5 main Kyurijis: red, blue, red, black, blue, green and pink. This just cuts it out, but I can, because there's some moulded detail, you can guarantee someone, at least one person out there, that has painted it up to look more nice. Another thing I will say about these 2 Zords here is that when the charger's in all the way, you're supposed to close the mouth, and you can't do that. Again, probably because the Zord is too small. To remove it, all you need to do is push this little slider forward, and the charger comes out, and you can close the mouth and reset the weapon. One thing I will say is that if you've lost your charger, if you've misplaced your charger, just like with the T-Rex Zord, you can activate the weapon regardless by moving this slider like this. Uh oh, let's just come off. Yeah, these weapons here are like little backpacks. If you have a look underneath, you can see the function where moving the slider moves this little thing off to the right, meaning that it literally just pushes on this piece here and does that. So it's just done via some functionality. And it's not done by any means like any fancy technical stuff. It's just done with like moving each other around. And this is the Tricera Zord, and the charger functionality again is pretty simple with this Zord. Put the charger in and boom, the drill pops out. The drill, while the charger is loaded, is spring loaded because there's 2 little clips on the bottom that are contracted. Moving the charge out will bring them back up and allow the Zord to be folded back up again. Again, the functionality with this Zord is pretty simple. This comes off, it's another backpack, although there is no reason for this to come off, it just happens to be that way. Moving the slider moves this part here, but it also brings out this little black piece here on the back. And the reason for that is because there's a little black dot underneath. Pushing that in is what triggers the drill. And yes, before any of you ask, you can swap the drill and the stego things around, so you get this, and you can also get this, since they're the same mold, just minus the different head sculpt slot and the little hole at the back. So the basic mold is the same, meaning that you can swap the backpacks around. Doesn't mean anything for the Megazord though, unless you wanted to have like a alternative combination which works somehow. I mean, that works, I suppose. It's Sword Builder after all. And now we'll get on to the combination. Oh no, not the combination. I'm still got to review the individual Zords. I'm forgetting myself now. Right, so the T-Rex Zord is first. What do I think of the paint on this? Yeah, honestly, they've done the paint up pretty well. They've kept up the silver. It is not painted on both sides, which is a bit of a disappointment, but the head is, so I mean that's a plus. The teeth are done up in metallic silver, which I like. They've included the little detailing on the eyes, which they don't always do, so they've kept that in. They actually they've missed out a lot of paint on the legs, which is a shame, honestly. They've added these really weird Zord Builder ports on the legs here, as well as the one on the top, but we'll get to that in a future video. Paint's done okay for a Power Rangers toy. I'd also like to point out that the grey plastic for the feet and the arms was originally grey on the Japanese version. They haven't dechromified it at all. They've made it like that to begin with. There's probably some paint missing here because it looks like there's some silver missing from the tail. So yeah, not too bad to paint. Yeah, the Stegozord and the Tricerazord don't look so hot compared to it. They did keep the silver detailing on the face and the eyes, which, yes, I do like. But yeah, aside from the yellow on the legs, that is everything to do with paint on this Stegozord. I think there's meant to be some paint here on the spikes as well, but that's missing. There's some silver detailing missing, I believe, from the main body. They did keep the leg paint up nicer, which is good. Tricerazord is the same. There's a drastic amount of paint missing from this. It's basically just one great big pink brick. Another thing I will say is that these horns here, they're meant to be part of another moving piece. And that is like this shape. It's meant to move off over to the front here and move back. And it doesn't do that, hence why... again, this is like a very weird molded shape with these two spikes at the end. This because that's meant to move and it doesn't move. So that's what that's about. Okay, now we can get onto Megazord transformation. Start by moving off the Stego and Tricera guys off to the side because we've got to do this guy first. First thing is to remove the tail, and it is very tightly lodged in. Believe me. There we go. Remove the tail. Put that off to the side. There we go. Now what we do is we've got to move that forward. Move this back bit back. Move this forward again so it straightens out. And then move it up again so it stands up. Then we need to split the legs open. Going at the top here, we need to spin this around so it faces us. Also, the sound gimmick for when you push on the little black triangle, that's been completely cut out. That's just a molded detail. That's not a button. Also, this used to be a speaker, this detail on the yellow here. That's no longer a speaker. That's just painted molded detail. So that's everything we can do for the Tyrannosaurus. So the Stegozord and the Triceratord, it's basically the same. What we do for the Stegozord is we remove the little backpack. That's what some guys call it. I just call it like a weapon thing. And we have to fold up the legs so the yellow pattern forms like a little stripe. There we go. And then we need to open the mouth. As you can see, there's two clips here. Now again, the idea would be to have the charger inside this mouth and then feed it into, hang on, because there's two ports on here to feed it into these charger ports, but it literally achieves nothing. It's a place to store chargers, basically. Also, this is a thing you can't do with just this set because you need two additional chargers. The Stego charger and the Tricera charger to be show accurate, but any charger really if you just want to just store charge. If you want to make it work to its full potential, you need to get just two additional other chargers. They've done the fist up quite well. The black paint. I think that's painted at least. I think it is. I hope it is. Good grief. Okay, then we need to attach him onto the arm port. Again, another big gripe I've got with this Megazord is that these two Zord builder parts here, because the head and the tail, there's all builder parts, you can't really use them for anything else, because to connect anything to them, they've got to be a specific Dino Charge item, and that's not all the Zord builder parts onto there. And done the Tricerazord is basically the same, except you do not remove their backpack, just fold the legs up like this. Open the mouth, bring in the Megazord, and then attach the arm to the other arm port, right there. So now this is almost complete. The last thing to do is to rotate the Megazord head up like this. Actually, I think I can do a more like close-up angle for this shot. Hang on. Flip up the head like this. I'm going to move the light closer to the head so we can get a closer look at it. They've done the paint up very nice. You can't see on camera, but they've done the black detailing around the green eyes, which is something they don't normally do, again. So the paint's not half bad, I must admit. And another thing we need to do is we need to get the tail here, open it up, turn it like this, spin this guy around, and attach it to the bottom set of clips like this. Spin it around like that. And then we can attach the helmet. The helmet's, again, done nice. These spikes are all rubber though. Again, that's not very much an issue. Why is it an issue, however, is that they insist in the instructions that that you store the helmet in the little gap in the legs, and that's really quite difficult to do. The reason for that is because originally the helmet would be stored in this yellow part here, and because it's not big enough. Size check, yes, it is not big enough to store this entire helmet. So that's why it was cut out, which I understand, sure. Plug on the helmet onto the head, like this. And this sword is pretty simple. We take the Sego back, sorry about that. And we basically just push this yellow switch. Move up the blade all the way. And this is the Megazord's weapon. One thing I will say about this is that it doesn't fold out into shield mode like it should do, which is, again, yeah, it's a feature they could have included. It just required 2 more hinges, but hey, it's just a weapon. That would be their argument, but I suppose that's a valid argument if you think about it. Handles made of rubber, so it can hold the sword. But I think I've seen 1 or 2 people have this still attached. One other thing I will say about the Japanese design is that how come they didn't make it so the drill could be used as like a lance weapon, because they called the Pink Ranger's personal weapon for the Kencho Spiker was the Dryce Lance, adapted into the Tricera drill. So by not making the drill on this Megazord a lance weapon, that's just kind of like a missed opportunity. Okay, regular design aspects now. Yeah, this is a good Megazord. The snapping, I think I've seen some subbed Kyuruja episodes call it snap together combination, which is clever, but really I think it's just referred to as snapping combination. The idea is done brilliantly in the Dino Charger and Kyuruja toy line. The sounds in the Japanese version helps boost it a bit, but honestly it works even without the sounds in my opinion, thus making the American version still work. No flaws. I think this is a good Megazord. The design is good, although it does rely a bit too much on the Tyrannosaur. Although to use the additional dinosaurs as arms, that allows for endless combinations for the other Zords. Again, another thing I'll say is that it's not possible to attach the Tricerazord to the other socket because the arms get in the way because the horns get in the way here. But it is possible to attach the Stegozord to the other socket, arm socket. Although yeah, it feels a bit heavy. So just like with the Japanese version, you can muck about with this with the arms. Now, luckily for me, luckily for everyone else probably, the horns on this particular Zord can actually be remedied with the Terror Charge Megazord, which coincidentally will be coming up in the next video. And if you're not a fan of this Dino Charge Megazord, apologies, because you'll be seeing this for the next about 4 videos. Because yeah, well, actually not the next few videos, because it's not involved with the Spinozord. Because I have that. Look, here he is. He'll be coming in 4 videos time. But again, like I said, the next video will of course be the Terror Charge Megazord, which is just below where I'm sitting. And yeah, this will need this Megazord to be present. So, because there's combinations with this Megazord for all the other additional Megazords. So yeah, if not a fan of this Megazord, apologies. Additional afterthoughts. Literally, I just finished filming the video you just saw. I forgot that I originally wanted to include a brief review of the Dino Cycle, well, one of the Dino Cycles, in this video. And I almost forgot to, but let's quickly review it now. Splits into 2 swords. There were multiple colorings to warrant cycles having multiple ranges. This was the Dino Supercharged Red Ranger one, I think. The Zords aren't badly sculpted. Now, in Japan, these were called, this was the Dino and Chase combination to form the Dino Chaser motorcycle. In Power Rangers, these are just called Dino Cycle Zords. They've done the sculpting up nice, but the paint on the dinosaur face on the purple one needs doing. They obviously designed the paint applications with the cycle form in mind. The Dino form is meant to be just a thing you have and don't do it very often. The cycle mode, the Dino mode's design, not bad. Especially how I think this is meant to be like a Velociraptor design, I don't know. The silver, they've done the silver up nice. The wheels do spin on both cycle parts. To transform it, all you need to do, basically, is just spin this guy upside down. Take this guy, and there's like a little rail system going on. You plug these 2 guys together like this, and it forms a complete Dino cycle. Yeah, not bad. Not bad for a little cycle. I do expect there to be an obvious lack of paint with the cycles, as it's always been the case with these cycle toys for Power Rangers. Another thing I'll say about all this is that this does count as a Zord Builder item. Ooh, get you. Now, yeah, you can't really use this Zord Builder port or this Zord Builder peg for anything. Neither can you use this Zord Builder port for anything, but you can use this Zord Builder port for something. If we bring in the Dino Charge Megazord from earlier and attach it, you can get a monstrosity like this. A cycle on its shoulder for some alien reason. I don't know.